Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time stopping by. So before I start the video, how do you like the background? I got some new lighting and I realized that I needed some much more like solitude to be able to make these videos, so I started making them in my room. How do you guys like the background? So jumping into the video, I wanted to talk about a subject that is a little bit close to my heart because I've been the kind of person who lets others drain my energy. Not just once, but many times. And it's not just people who are the problem, but just the interactions and basically the interactions that I have with my own self. Self-alienation comes from not listening to our own heart, not listening to yourself, not listening to your internal thought process that tells you to not do this or something that you're not comfortable with. Energy is drained when you emotionally neglect yourself. Does that make sense to you? You drain your energy when you neglect yourself, your own needs, and what you like to do. I'm going to jump into my first tip. And the first tip is do not be too available. And what I mean by that is don't do what you do not want to do. Say no. The ability to say no and the ability to really stand on your own decisions is something that is truly understated, because a lot of the times we feel that we are neglecting ourselves because we are putting a lot of our energy into other people, and that is not a bad thing per se. The main issue that I have with this is many a times we forget that we have our own needs. Basically, if somebody requests you to do something and you don't feel like it, but you do it anyway because you don't want to come across as, mean or anything like that, then at the end of the day, you're gonna harm yourself, and you know that. But your inability to say no to others because you fear this judgment is what is stopping you from feeling your best. It is something that is making you feel almost indebted to other people, and that is not the truth at all. When I say stop being so available, what I mean is not to just completely cut off the time that you have with other people. Self-isolation, literally to just not talk to anybody else, is not the correct answer to building any kind of self-esteem. It is in fact the opposite of what you should be doing. You should be trying to meet more people, but having some strict boundaries with those people is really, really important, and I cannot stress that enough. And what I mean by enforcing those boundaries is the first thing: say no when you don't feel like doing something. Do not participate in things that feel like they are devaluing your character. If you feel like you don't want to do this, you don't want to be a part of the group mentality, you don't want to just go with the flow and be a part of the herd, then you should feel comfortable saying no. It's not about the way that people are going to judge you. It is about the way that you are going to feel about yourself. Now, I'm going to move into my second tip. Stay away from people who require you to fake a personality. Now, what I mean by that is, oftentimes, especially if you're in a new environment, I've spoken about, networking with different people, putting yourselves out there and meeting as many people as you can. However, if you're meeting a group of people and the only way that you can truly gel with them is when you are faking your entire personality, you're laughing at jokes that you don't find funny, you're talking about subjects that you don't find interesting, that is not going to help you in the long run, because it is the opposite of your personality, and you're going to feel the effects of that. In the entirety of the relationship, you're faking your whole personality, and it's not them that's the problem, it is you. And I think that realization that many a times it is our need to fit into spaces that we are not supposed to fit in is what is holding us back and what is going to drain our energy, because faking an entire persona is not authentic, first of all, and second, it's going to drain your energy and you're going to feel like you're neglecting the real you. So I'm going to jump into my third tip. Focus on activities that make you happier. And what I really mean by that is, come on, like, this is such a cliche advice, right? But how can you truly connect with yourself when you don't even give yourself time? And this could also mean your guilty pleasures. Now, basically, if somebody tells you that it's cringy for you to listen to a particular type of music, you wouldn't automatically stop listening to it. This in turn will basically ensure that you are not neglecting yourself, your own needs, what you like, your likes and your dislikes. But there are some people who, in this part of herd mentality, are going to feel like, this person does not like anime, this entire group does not like anime, so I'm just going to completely ignore that and I'm never going to talk about it and I'm never going to do this. It's gonna drain your energy. Many a times people are not gonna directly tell you like, hi, you're not part of the group, or hey, you're not this, you're not that, but it's just something that you feel, and if you have self-respect, you should walk out of it. So if you like scrapbooking and people think, hey, that's not a very good activity, that's kind of immature, why would you listen to them? Hey, this is your life. I personally love, like, this is a childish hobby maybe, I love collecting stickers. Okay, I'm gonna buy the Barbie stickers, the butterfly stickers, the Dora the Explorer stickers. I don't have a problem with that. I actually really like them. But if somebody is like, oh, that's really immature, but that brings me happiness, and I have the right in my life to decide what I'm going to be investing my time in. And if something makes me happy, if something makes me feel like I'm really like fulfilling the dreams of my inner child, I'm really pampering my inner child, then I'm gonna do that because it brings me happiness, and that doesn't have anything to do with what other people think. Now, this is something that I think drains our energy subconsciously. It is to basically staying with people who only talk about others. They gossip. And gossiping is not something we can avoid because everybody talks about others. But if the only topic that people can talk about is other people, like the only thing that they talk about is, hey, look at what this girl is doing, or hey, look at what this guy is doing, or what they're wearing, or what they're doing, what kind of relation they're having, or anything like that, stay away from that, because subconsciously it's going to drain your energy. If you don't believe me, just notice the difference of how you feel when you walk out of an interaction. I think it's just an obvious thing. If somebody is talking, crap about somebody else in front of you, they're doing the same about you to somebody else. It's not rocket science, really. It's the truth. But so many of us, we engage in this mindless gossip as well, but we don't think about it. We're like, what are the consequences? The consequence is you feeling less fulfilled in your friendships and relationships. And plus, please stay away from people who gossip in the first place. It's just common friendship advice. Stay away from them. They're not good for you. Cut them off if possible, because they're going to suck the energy out of you. And also, the way people talk about others, I think this is a psychological thing that I read somewhere. I'm gonna try putting it on the screen if I can find it. I think there was a study that stated that the way that you talk about others is how others start to perceive you. So I guess if you do like a reverse psychology here, if you're talking crap about somebody else, people are gonna think that you hold that characteristic. The characteristic that you're bashing in somebody else. Subconsciously, in people's mind, they're gonna think you have those characteristics. I'm really gonna try linking it if I can see it. I put it in the description. Please do check it out. I think it's pretty interesting. Now, jumping into the next thing that I want to talk about is find better ways to express your frustration. I think when I speak about emotional neglection, it is more often about how we vent our own feelings. And many a times you can be lonely even if you're surrounded by a bunch of people, because you feel like you don't know how to talk to them, or they're not going to listen to you, which is a thing in itself, because many people do not want to listen to people's problems. And that's the thing. People don't want to listen to people's problems. They think that you are the problem. They think that maybe you're just yapping a lot. So you need to find ways that you can fulfill that emotional gap by your own. This is kind of a sad advice, to be honest, but you need to find better coping mechanisms, which is going to help you in the long run anyway, because you cannot be surrounded by happy-go-lucky people all the time, or people who are just very supportive all the time. It's not always possible. But unfortunately, this is a reality of the world. We need to be able to accept that people are not really always going to be with us when we are sad. And it's not just the people. You may not feel like speaking to others about your problems. You may not feel like it. So what are you gonna do? Cry all the time? You're just gonna cry alone and go to sleep and get up and cry some more? No, you have to find ways to move on. And only you know what you need. Only you know what your emotional struggles are. Only you know how you feel. So you need to find ways that you can use to be able to fulfill that emotional gap. Cope better. If you learn to write, you can write some poetry, you can read some other people's works. It's not just about reading. If you like going to the gym, you like to go dancing, you like to just go on a walk somewhere, anything you can do to cope, go ahead and do that. Now basically the entire video is on the basis that you need to pour into your own mind when others don't do it for you. And usually it's not the other people who are the root cause of our emotional neglect. It is indeed ourselves. We neglect ourselves before other people neglect us. You cannot gain control if you do not know about your own thought cycles and your own triggers and your emotional vulnerabilities. If something or someone makes you feel like crap afterwards, like if something or someone brings you pain, walk away from them. That is the best thing you can do to feel more emotionally fulfilled, is to walk away from people or things that make you feel horrible, make you feel like you're not enough, or anything of the above. So please take these steps, and if you do like them, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do subscribe. I think you should support a small channel, especially if you've stuck this far. Then do give this video a like and comment your thoughts, whatever you think. If you feel like I might have forgotten a few tips, then don't forget to note them in the comment section. Speak about whatever you want to speak about. I think the perk of being a small channel is that any viewer who is watching the channel can just leave their thoughts below, and quite frankly, I'm not here to judge. So if you like the video, do subscribe, give it a like, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.